You're listening to Until They Sleep, a podcast where two parents finally get to sit down and discuss all the different things that run through their heads every day because their four kids are finally asleep. Thanks for listening. And welcome back to Until They Sleep. I'm Shantelle.
And I'm Daniel.
So we last week had an episode in Spanish, trying to include our Spanish-speaking listeners. So, we thought maybe they're trying to chime in and maybe they don't understand English. So we decided to do an episode in Spanish.
It didn't matter. I haven't heard any feedback. I don't think the numbers are showing that anybody really cared. So
that's okay.
So I think
we know.
Maybe that was it. One and out. Yeah.
So that's fine. And we had said that in the...
I guess we'll give it a month, see what the feedback is. But as of right now, I haven't even heard anything back from anyone. So
okay.
I don't think it was.
Okay. Well, that's perfectly fine. And I know we also haven't really advertised it too much, but if it's a bust, it's a bust, and we will continue in English. So I guess, what did you want to talk about?
Well, it's the week of mothers all around the world. One of the most celebrated holidays. Apparently a holiday that matters more than Father's Day. A day where mothers, as always, get all the credit and we're just the donors, and that's it. We don't matter.
You get Father's Day.
Yeah. Cook for myself.
Well, just because we want to do things that you usually like doing, which is like camping and grilling.
So I end up working. Never mind. I end up working more.
Those are the things you like to do, and that's what makes you happy.
A reminder of why you're a father, right?
Yes. It's like a reminder for
mother. ¿Querías hijos, cabrón?
Yeah. Well, it's like today, right? It's Mother's Day weekend, and you and the kids kept asking me, what did I want for Mother's Day? And all I said was, I want the house clean. That's all I kept saying. And so today, you got the whip out and got the kids to clean the house, and you didn't really let me do anything. So I appreciate that. But it was really hard for me to just sit there. And I kept doing things on the side.
Yeah.
Because it's just, I can't just sit there.
No, and then on top of it, it's like, we're not doing it the way you like it. So I'm sure that drives you crazy too, because you're like, no, I understand when people don't do things the way I want.
Well, yeah, our 10-year-old was vacuuming, and I was like, hey, I usually move all that stuff when I vacuum, so you're going to have to move.
Yeah.
Move all that and get behind it. And he's like, looking at me.
I even had the baby with like wipes cleaning the doors, and she was like, oh, and I almost made her cry because I was like, what is that? That looks like crap. Get back over there and do it again.
Well,
she was like, oh, she looked at me, like, go slow. It's not about going fast.
Well, it's because
and then it looked great.
You tell her to do whatever she wants. Yeah, so that's kind of your fault.
No, and then she was like, oh, yeah, isn't that good? And I was like, now see what difference? Like, you take your time, you do it right.
Yeah.
So it was cool. Yeah, everybody was helping out.
But it's also, a good learning lesson, right? Mom didn't have to yell at them. It was your turn to yell at them and get on top of them about getting things done the right way. The first time.
Yeah. It was interesting. Like I said, it's always interesting, the dynamic and the difference between mom and dad. Mm-hmm. And, I've heard you ask them to do things, and sometimes it's like, an argument or a fight. And with me, it's more like I say it and they're trying to do it, but they're all pouty and like in a bad mood about it. So then I just turn into, I kind of did it on purpose today too. I was a little extra hard on them. I said to our 10-year-old, I was like, I'm going to go off at you like my mom used to go off at me, like for walking while I'm mopping,
Oh, yes, you were mopping and the kids kept walking through the area.
Yeah.
Even me, I think I walked into the kitchen. You're like, I'm not done drying the kitchen. Yeah. Get out of my kitchen. Yeah. And then you yelled at the dog, too, for walking
through. Yeah, he was petrified. He went in the kennel. He was like, oh, no. He's mad at me.
So I got some quick stats about Mother's Day, and then we can get into the actual conversation.
Oh, yeah, sure. So you got some stats about Mother's Day. So enlighten us with this info.
Okay, so I found that the flower for Mother's Day is a carnation.
Carnation?
Carnations are, I guess, the generally accepted flowers for Mother's Day.
No.
I know you prefer roses, but this is what I read. And then that the tradition actually dates back to Greek times when the Greeks would celebrate the mother of all the Greek gods, Rhea, or Rhea. And that in the U.S., it actually dates back to 1868 when Anne Jarvis, she tried to create a committee to kind of help unify the families during the Civil War era.
Oh, I think I heard about this.
Yeah, and so she was trying to create for the loss of children and the families that were starting to, like a community for the moms on both sides of the war. And then her daughter, like in 1907 or 1908, depending on which website you look at, her daughter's name was Anna Jarvis. Her mom was Anne Jarvis. Her daughter's Anna Jarvis. She created a memorial for her mom to honor her for all these things that she had attempted to do during the Civil War era. And then in 1914, President Woodrow Wilson signed an official proclamation designating Mother's Day as a national holiday that was to be celebrated on the second Sunday of every May. And that Anna Jarvis, the one who created it in 1907 or 1908, she actually even tried to cancel it later on.
Yeah, I heard that she hated it. She hated what it became.
Yes, exactly. She hated
Took away from the original plan,
yes, because she wanted it just to honor him, but the monetization of it, she didn't want to commercialize it. She was really mad about that. And I guess she spent the rest of her fortune, she died in like her 80s, just trying to fight it and cancel the holiday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, any other stats?
That Mother's Day is the third highest sales day or sales holiday in the U.S.
So let me guess. Number one, probably Thanksgiving, like Black Friday.
No.
And then second will be like Christmas.
No. Christmas is first and Hanukkah second.
Oh, okay.
And then Mother's Day. And that most countries...
Where's Father's Day?
We're not doing that episode
it's
yet.
probably like 28.
We'll find out when we do that episode and I look up those stats. And then in most countries around the world...
I'll be right back. I'm going to go buy some milk.
Most countries around the world, the word for mom starts with M-A or ma because that's the easiest sound that babies make. So.
I don't know. Some of my kids have said ba.
No, they said ma. They always said ma.
Ba.
Okay. I'm not going to argue about this one right now. They said ma. I said usually. So those are the stats I have about Mother's Day.
Honestly, I don't mind Mother's Day. I mean, I do and I don't.
You don't mind it? Like
it's just joking.
I know it's a
like
hard holiday for you.
Yeah, so this week it was also in Mexico. It was Mother's Day. It's always the same day, which ends up being May 10th, right? So it's always May 10th. They celebrate Mother's Day, and it's like a big event over there. Same thing as over here. Everybody's going out to take the moms out to eat and flowers and serenading them and everything with, norteños or banda or mariachi or whatever. Everybody wants to show off who loves their mom more, and I'll do the other sibling or the other neighbor or whatever. For me, it's a bitter day because it was my mother's birthday. It was always a reminder growing up that I didn't have a mom. So I hated that. It made me sad. I've noticed that as I gotten older, I'm like a little kid. And I told you this the day, right? I was like, I'm not wishing anybody a Mother's Day today. Like, this is my mom's day. Nobody else. This belongs to her only. It's her birthday. Mm-hmm. They can all wait for it. The American Sunday text or phone call for Mother's Day. But I was like, but I'll tell you because you're my wife and you're mother of my children. So, I was like.
But you did ask me to go buy a gansito.
Yeah, gansito for my mom.
Yeah.
So, a little backstory to that one.
Okay.
I don't know if you know this.
Maybe not, because I didn't understand why you wanted me to get a gansito.
So, like I said, I was very emotional. I haven't had my mom now for, I'm going to say 36 years. 37 years, I want to say. I can't remember the exact math. 30 plus years. And, well, it was her birthday, bottom line. So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's the fact that I have these two little girls and the baby really reminds me of my mom a lot. Mm-hmm. Like her eyes, her attitude. There's a lot of my mom in her, or at least I see it like that.
What you remember of your mom, yeah.
Yeah, because I really don't remember my mom. I like, there was a while when I couldn't remember what she looked like at all, so I had to look at pictures, I don't have a lot of things. Yeah. Once she passed away, everything got thrown away. So, yeah, I don't have mementos and stuff like that. Like your mom was showing me, oh, look, this is your wife's baby spoon, and I was like, oh, cool. This is what I have for my childhood. Me, I was like, so I said before that when I lived with my mom, there were times when things were pretty rough and we were pretty poor. There was a time when it was my birthday, and my mom couldn't get me a birthday cake, so she bought me a gansito, which I love gansitos as a kid. And if you don't know what a gansito is, picture like a Twinkie, but chocolate covered. Okay, and inside of it, instead of just a white frosting, it has like strawberry jelly on it, right? And the frosting is not like the kind of like a Twinkie, but to a different level, right? And not as dry. So for your people that don't know what a gansito is, here you go.
I think gancitos.
You
really
ever
dry.
see them at the store? Just grab one, try them out. They're freaking delicious. You put them in the freezer, and on a hot day, you have them as a snack. Nice cold cup of milk. Well, my mom got me a gansito and she put a candle on it, and we sang happy birthday, and it was just her and me. It's one of the few but little memories I do have. The reason why I also love roses for Mother's Day was I used to walk home from like kindergarten, preschool, first grade, and most of the time my mom would walk me. But there was once or twice when my mom was running late because of the bus, city bus or cab or whatever. So I had to walk home. It was only a couple blocks. And one of the houses had really pretty roses. So I cut a couple of roses for her for Mother's Day. Because obviously,
this story I know.
I didn't have money to buy her gifts, right? So me, I was like, oh, get her some roses. Bottom line, I walked home all the way. I put them inside like in a cup of water or whatever. And the lady followed me from the house. She told my mom, she just told her that I ripped some flowers from her garden or whatever. And my mom was upset and she spanked me. And when she went inside, the flowers were in there, and I said, "Happy Mother's Day." I said, "Happy birthday, Happy Mother's Day." So she felt bad, and she gave me a hug and a kiss, and she was like, "I'm sorry, I spanked you. I should have known that you wouldn't do something bad just to do it. You did something because there was a purpose."
Little old nosy lady.
Yeah.
Instead of asking
Well, old ladies.
I know.
Yeah, I should have asked her too. Could I have a
that's
flower?
true.
But I didn't see her.
But if they're sticking out the fence.
Yeah. Literally, they were sticking out the fence. So those were my memories. So that's roses. That's the significance for me for roses. I remember my first crime was stealing somebody's roses
Off their bushes.
Off the bushes, to give them as a gift to my mom. And gancitos was a memory of a
birthday
of a happy, like a beautiful birthday to me. And that means the world to me.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would be nice to return the favor, like return it. It's not saying that we're going through that, but it's kind of like remembering where I come from, like, and not taking that away. And then I asked you because I was working I worked that day, and I was
worked a lot of overtime.
Yeah, and I worked late the whole week, so I know I couldn't be around. So I was like, well, what's better than the grandkids doing it for her, right? They never met her, but you put a picture of her, and you got a gansito, and you did that. You got the candle, and I guess. And
our daughters went and picked roses from our garden, and they put them in a glass of water, and.
Yeah, so that when you send me the text telling me that our 6-year-old did that, I found it very touching. I was like, oh, perfect, which is probably one of the reasons why we were looking for a house. I was like, I want roses.
You wanted a house with roses, yes.
Yeah. So for me, roses will always be my correlation to my mother. It's just, I don't know. To me, roses are beautiful, so I just. Because no matter what, sometimes they survive and they make it. So that's why I say I'm a rose that grew from concrete too, So it was beautiful, and you did that, and I just thought it would be nice. My kids didn't get to meet their grandma from my side. They have your mom around all the time, so I think they don't realize how lucky they are to have a grandmother.
Yeah, I think that's normal because I had both my grandmas growing up, and I can't imagine not having grown up with my grandmas because of all the experiences I had with them.
Yeah. So I kind of want to remind them that don't take her for granted because you don't have this other grandma.
Yeah.
So that's
I think sometimes it's a difficult lesson when their grandmother lives with them. So any strife like between my mom and I, the kids see it or they hear it, just like, strife between you and me. Like if we fight, the kids might see it or hear it. But I feel like maybe when I have a negative reaction with my mom, or she has a negative reaction with anything, in the house, the kids take it and they get mad about it, and they lose like a little respect for their grandma. And I'm like, there's nothing for you to lose respect about. Like, that's your grandma. You will give her hugs and kisses in the morning. You will say hello to her. You will say good morning. You will say good night. If she asks you a question, you answer her. You don't ignore her. It's like, she's not me. She's not your dad. She's your grandma, and you will respect her. No matter what she says or does, you will respect her, because she's only, in her mind, she's doing her best, and she's looking out for your best interest. She might come across harshly about it sometimes, but she's doing it in your best interest. That's just what I have to remind the kids. I know it's hard. My grandmas didn't live with us, so I can see the difference where I looked forward to seeing my grandmas, where I do feel bad sometimes the kids don't always look forward to seeing their mom.
They don't understand yet, but I think as they get a little bit older,
it's more the boys.
Well, it's a boy thing. It's just different. Like you said, your mom's different. It's just
and
different.
She's here.
But it's just how she is. I think it doesn't kind of click with the boys. She clicks with the girls, great.
Yeah,
but with
she's
the
definitely
boys,
the girl mom.
Yeah,
she's always been a girl. Like she and my brothers didn't click either growing up.
So I understand it. Like my stepmom.
Which one?
My dad's wife. Okay. She got along great with the boys. She was a boy grandma. Mm-hmm. On that note, it made me think. So that's the reason why it's May 10th is sad for me.
Yeah.
But because of that reason, actual Mother's Day is a big day for me. Like, it's a big deal for me. Like you, right?
Yeah.
We have our kids, and because I didn't have a mother, I want to make sure that our kids spoil you and appreciate you and love you and do everything.
But why only one day a year?
Well, no, I mean you're right.
I know.
You're right. Definitely, it shouldn't be one day a year. It should be every day, but especially on that day or that weekend. Like we want to show you that we appreciate you, that we notice what you do for us, right? Or them. So today, part of the reason why I was being hard on them and making them clean and do everything, it's because those are the things that you do for them, right? So I want them to see that it's taking 4 of them, 5 including me, to do what you usually do in one day. Mm-hmm. And, while they're there standing and nagging and complaining, I'm like, do you hear that from your mom? Not at all, right? So it's just to appreciate that, like to connect those dots. Like, hopefully they understand. Man, Mother's Day, I might have a lot to say today, actually, because obviously I didn't have a mom. I grew up without a mother, so for me, it's a big deal. It's a big deal, like I'm saying it. But I also and you know this about me, I hate people that don't appreciate their moms. I hate the people that take their moms for granted. Like you can be the best human being and the greatest friend and the greatest husband and whatever, but the moment I see or hear that you're a shitty son to your mother, I will lose all respect towards you, or daughter to your mother. Unless your mom was a brutal, cold-hearted person, right? A total bitch, then most definitely, then they don't deserve your love, right? If you faced it and overcame whatever they did to you, then by all means, because I know there's some women that are
not meant to be moms.
Are not meant to be mothers, right? But for most people, I grew up seeing my friends with their moms. And I grew up seeing my brothers with their mom and my sisters. And I grew up seeing my other stepbrothers and sisters and them being parents also. So my nephews and nieces and
all over.
Yeah, and step nephews and step nieces, right? Because I had 2 stepmoms or 3 stepmoms. So I saw how they looked at their kids. I saw how loving they were. I saw how they treated them, how affectionate they were towards them, right? And I learned fast that I would never have that. I would never have that love. No one was ever going to love me like that. No one's ever going to take care of me like that. No one's ever going to look out for me or defend me like that. I had it for a few years, definitely. So I did get a little taste of it. But like my stepmom, my dad's wife. She was cool. She was nice. You know, she was loving. But the way she loved her boys compared to me, like I was, I'm a zero to the left, right? Un cero a la izquierda. Like I don't exist. I'm there, but I'm not necessary. Like I was reminded at those moments that I wasn't really her son. She always gave me my place, and she always introduced me as her son. But when it came to the love and affectionate, it was not the same as others. And the same thing with my stepmom, with my other stepmom. She always tough love, always strict, always everything. But the way she talked to her kids, and she would cook what their favorite stuff was, and whatever. They can say they love me, but I know they don't. Like they love me to a certain point. They have some love and affection, but
They
don't
care for you.
Yeah, they care for me, but I'll never be their son, because of the things that they've done. I had my sister, right, that was kind of like a mom, but the way she was with my nephews, like it was different than me, right? Mm-hmm. Like they can mess with me, they can push my buttons, they can talk trash, they can take my toys, and it was just like a look or whatever now. But the moment I did it to them, it was cursing, it was throwing, it was spankings, it was, you know what I mean? So it was like,
how dare you treat them like that?
If she gets in a fight with them, it could be they won't talk to each other for at the most, I don't know, a week. Mm-hmm. They get on a fight with me, and
it goes for years.
Well, her daughter is 6 years now, going on 7. So yeah, you know what I mean? Like, so I would never have that love, that mother's love. I won't know what it is. Like you said, your mother lives with us. So I see how she treats you. I see how she looks at you. I see how she, even though you guys, like you say, you have your arguments and difference of opinions and everything, it doesn't compare, because the moments when you're not around and the way that she talks about you, and how, like, I see her every time it's something, your brothers are hosting a party or they're going to come over, the way that she gets, and he loves this dish, I got to go get the stuff for them, or call him and ask him. No matter how bad they treat her, or how bad they ignore her, or how bad you fight with her, she goes out of her way to make sure that you guys know that she's happy that you guys are around, and that she can give you guys the love and affection, right? So I'm always going to be on the outside looking into that. And it's like, damn, like I wish,
Well, but I mean, you get to see me with our kids.
Yeah.
And that's
that's
of you.
Beautiful. Yeah, no, that part is beautiful, but that's the other thing, bro. Like I can scold them for a little bit, and they'll be afraid of me for days. And you can scream at them, and 5 minutes later, they're, Mom, I love you. Mom, this, Mom, that. But me, they're probably, I don't know if it's the dad role or whatever. Now, I feel like I was born to love and be affectionate with the people that I love, but I feel that I would never be loved back that way that I love.
That's not true. We love you.
I'm not saying
your kids love you.
I'm not saying that. It's just saying I just won't receive it the way that I get it. Like you guys love me, but it's not like, I don't know.
I think
like,
it's just perception.
Even how you say like if you're wrong, you're wrong. I'm not gonna have your back because
heck, if
I know you're wrong,
if you go to jail
or whatever. What are the reasons? Like if you're wrong, you're wrong. I was like, that's fine. But like a mom knows when their kids are wrong, and they still have their back, and then they'll like behind their closed doors or whatever, like, you were wrong. I just want to let you know you were wrong, or they go about it a little different. They're not harsh about it.
I'm not that mom. I'm harsh with the kids when they're wrong, even in front of others.
I don't know. I haven't seen it, so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for me, yeah, like, so I really wish people appreciate their moms. For me, it's a big deal. I just want to, I just, like, because the thing that pisses me off, and I'm sorry to cut you off, but I want to get it off, it's one of those, they treat their moms like shit. Mm-hmm. They take them for granted, and the moment that their mom dies,
oh yes, we've seen that.
Yeah, they're acting like it's the end of the world, and it's a horrible experience. And believe me when I tell you, if you lose your mom, or you're lost your mom recently or whatever, it never goes away. That pain, it won't go away. It'll come back on her birthday. It'll come back on Christmas. It'll come back on your birthday. On days that matter that you live with them, it comes back. It could be for a millisecond, but it comes back. Like, you feel it, like that loss, like the first time I realized that I lost my mom, the first time it hit me, I fell off a bike. Fell off a bike and I scraped the crap out of my legs, like big time. One of my knees was like bloody and everything. And I remember I would fall down, I would trip, I would, whatever. And my mom was there picking me up, cleaning my wounds, babying me, And I can see when my dad used to get annoyed at, and he'd call me a big old,
Mama's boy.
yeah, mama's boy. And
he'd say it worse, but
yeah. But the day that happened to me, and I stayed there on the ground and I cried, and I looked around. Like my dad's gonna come pick me up. Maybe my sister's gonna come. Oh, I just met my brother. Maybe my brother will feel sorry for me and he'll come pick me up. Maybe my stepmom was gonna come out. And I cried for like 5 minutes, and it was fake crying. It wasn't even real crying, It was like
maybe
fake crying.
Maybe they knew you were fake.
And I was just, I looked around, and I was like, man, nobody's here to pick me up. She's gone. That's gone. That unconditional love is gone. That person that picks you up and dusts you off and says, hey, all right, you'll be fine, get going, that's gone. And that's the moment that my childhood went away, because I realized I was alone. And from there on, everything that I lived, I was going to have to live by myself and deal with it by myself and learn from my mistakes.
Lift yourself up.
Yeah. It was up to me, I didn't have that crutch, that strength, that Master Yoda.
Well, I remember one time we went to visit your family, down south in Mexico. And you had heard about one of your cousins. So like one of your aunts, like I guess every time she sees you, like she loves you so much, or she loved you so much that, she would like faint anytime she saw you.
She loved my mom that much.
Oh, she loved your mom that much. So you're an extension of your mom. So, that's how much you meant to her. But you wouldn't go see her, A, because you didn't want her to faint. But B, because you said if you saw her son, you were going to kill him. Because you had heard that he'd been abusing his mom.
Yeah.
And so, for those listening, you have to understand, you're just like, oh, well, you should have definitely done something. Well, we're in another country. We're in the middle of nowhere. So there's definitely...
It got out. They let him know.
Okay.
I know it got out. They were like, hey.
Well, they avoided you.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I still saw my aunt. I still went and
yeah.
I saw her. She was happy, and I told her, I just don't want you to get sick like the last couple of times when I saw you. I don't want your, blood levels to go crazy.
Yeah.
I don't want you to faint. And then I remember she told me, please don't do anything to him.
Yeah. But again, we were also in the middle of nowhere. We were in another country.
Exactly.
It's like, what are we going
to... What are you going to do? Extradite me?
Well, in that particular area, you'd probably never be found. We would have never been found.
No.
No, we would have never made it home.
We would have chopped up into little pieces.
Exactly. Fed to some pigs or something.
Yeah, for sure.
But scary times when you think about where we were. Like in retrospect, that was a really bad idea to go there. But that's how passionate though you were about the fact that someone was maltreated, even your own uncle. Like I remember we were staying at your grandmother's house.
Oh yeah.
And one of your uncles had you had heard that he had been bad to his mom.
Yeah.
And you wouldn't go see him.
I love my uncle.
Yeah, and he showed up knocking, like, I don't know what time. It was like 6 in the morning. And he was knocking on our window where we were sleeping. And we were in her house. And I guess he hadn't seen her in months. Like, they hadn't talked to each other in months.
6, 8 months.
Yeah,
like
and the only reason he came over was because he heard that you were in town. And that's what got him to finally come and see his mom. And it was the most awkward meeting.
And literally, he lived like half a mile away.
Yeah, he didn't even live that far away. Like the whole
mile.
But the whole town's like, a mile, like square mile. Like
yeah,
that's a super tiny town.
Yeah.
But the point being that here was another family member.
And what did I do when he walked in?
You made sure he said hi to his mom, gave her a hug and a kiss.
Yeah, I said, you're not here to greet me.
Yeah,
you're not here to see me.
Yeah,
your mother's over there waiting for you.
Yeah, and this is her house.
Yeah, you go greet her first
before you greet me,
and then you and me can talk after that.
Yeah, and that was your uncle. Like,
Yeah.
that wasn't even like,
Well, that's my grandmother. I love my grandmother.
Yeah.
She's if I would put it at the level of our baby. You said that nobody could say or do it.
Yeah.
As when I was around my grandma, that's how I saw her. Like I was like, ain't nobody gonna do nothing to her.
Yeah.
I love my grandma because, like you said, she was an extension of my mom. You know.
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we watched Coco, I felt like I was watching my grandma, so that made it more emotional for me because like the braid and that long hair and that wrinkle. She lived to be, I want to say 98.
But she only died, I think, because she had the diabetes. Yeah.
But she still lived a full life.
Yeah. But I think if it hadn't been for the diabetes getting her, she would have lived a lot longer.
I am happy that she got to meet the boys.
Yes, she did.
I wish she would have met the girls, obviously, but the what she said when she was holding our second boy, that meant the world to me.
And tell them what she said.
She said, I would have never imagined that I would get to hold your child as I held you.
And speaking of mothers, our youngest has just woken up and she's now on my lap.
Yeah, we have a guest.
A sleepy guest.
A sleepy guest.
She just
cranky
woke up.
guest. So I'm not trying to make people all sad and teary and stuff, but those are beautiful memories, you know. So definitely, if you have your mom, man, appreciate them.
Well, I know,
love them.
I know you even get mad, like if my brothers are mean to my mom. Like me being mean to my mom is one thing. Because I don't know if there's like this, if anybody else listening has like this mother-daughter dynamic where you guys are maybe a lot alike in some ways, but very different in other ways. And so, you clash. And then having your mother, what's the saying? You can't have two women in the same household because it's too different of opinions.
I don't think Hugh Hefner ever heard that one.
Well, no, I mean like a mother and a daughter. Like there's no two women are not allowed in the kitchen. Like I think that's something like that. I don't remember the exact saying, but it's basically, because they have different ways of doing things, right?
Oh no, yeah.
So I have my way of doing things. My mom has her way of doing things. And as much as I love and appreciate everything she did for us as we were kids, I'm now my own adult. And she forgets that I'm an adult and she still treats me like a little girl. And in my own house, that's really frustrating sometimes. Doesn't mean I don't love her. I love her very much. And I do appreciate the many things she does for me. But at the same time, I'm an adult.
Well, see, my thing is, I understand stuff like that, right? Like, is your mom stubborn? Yes. Is your mom?
Yes.
Can your mom be
Well,
hard-headed?
you say we're similar in the worst of ways.
No, yeah, but like, can she be hard-headed? Yes. Is she set on her ways? Yes. Is she wrong most of the time? Mostly. And then that's when you have the arguments with her, and that's when your brothers are hard on her, and they scold her, and they give her, the lectures of the point of view.
But the reason she's wrong is because what she's always telling us, right? These are different days. These are different times. And
it's a difference of opinions or different perspectives on things that are happening, or political, religious, food wise, whatever, right? And then everybody has everybody's done their own studies, their own experiments on themselves, especially with your brothers, their own research, and so they have those conversations and they get frustrated, and when all 3 or 4 match and are against hers, then it turns into an interesting conversation, argument, whatever you want to call it, where you guys have to kind of be stern or like, I don't get mad at that. I can respect that.
Yeah.
My thing is when they treat her like crap.
Yeah.
Or
when they're demanding.
Oh yeah. Or they're neglect her, or like, it's your mom's birthday. Why didn't you call your mom?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't say that to them anymore because I think I did that once, and like typical, I end up
the bad guy.
Yeah, being the bad guy. It's not my place, or mind my own business. But that's when I get a little bit bothered because they do it with your dad too, right? And I'm like, I hope they don't end up being like those other people that once their parents are gone, like
they're bawling and crying and regretting.
Yeah.
Well, and my 3 brothers, they love, we love our mom. But like you said, like she's so set in her ways. I think that snoring sound is our 4-year-old. She's so set in her ways that sometimes, people get to a certain age and, there's just really nothing you can say or do that to make them understand your own perspective anymore. Or
Oh
even
yeah.
if they say that they do understand, they really don't.
What?
And she's at that point,
Yeah.
her way is the right way and she knows more than we do and she's lived more than us. And yes, it's true to an extent, but then I also remind her that she also lived a very different life than we did. She grew up very differently than we did. And I have to remind her, it's like, Mom, you grew up in a life of luxury and you had servants and you had cooks and you had chauffeurs and went to private
Yeah,
school.
but see, I don't apply to that because there's like she's lived longer without that stuff than when she
Well,
lived with it.
Well, but it's ingrained in her. Like she still thinks like that. Like she still thinks like that. So she has like a certain expectation of things. And it's just I have to just remind her like, Mom, I love you. I appreciate you. You're such an intelligent person. But that was your reality. That's not my reality. Like life molded me to be this way and life molded you to be that way, and I need you to just understand that my life was different and is different than whatever your expectations are. So, and I think moms can be really hard. Like mom and daughter relationships are super difficult, and
It's no different than father and son.
exactly, it's true. Like opposite tops, like mother to son or father to daughter. Best friends, loving, but when it comes to mother to daughter and father to son, it's extremely difficult because there's that level of expectation, there's judgment, there's all these things that come because my mom expects me to be a stay-at-home mom, full-time, where my 100% attention is on my children. Would I like to do that? Yeah. There was a point in my life where I really, really wanted to do that. Reality was that that's not an option. So I do what I can with the time that I have, So I put myself between my working job, between my mom job, between my daughter job, between my wife job that gets mostly neglected. So
I don't know what came over you, but the last couple of months, I was like, wow, my wife is spoiling me. Like,
well, and I think that's just part of the whole staying home and it just adds more to my plate, right? Because
yeah, but I feel bad about it.
I feel, I rush the kids to school, I get up, make them breakfast, rush them to school, come back, make you breakfast, make you your lunch, and make sure you get up because you get home so late and I don't want you to sleep in. Try to have a conversation with you before I have to actually get to my day job. And somewhere in there, work education time for our 4-year-old, even if it's while I'm working.
Being a mother, man.
And then when I'm done working my day job, I'm running off to go pick up the kids, get home, struggle to get them to do homework. My mom does sometimes help me by making dinner. So I definitely appreciate that bit of assistance. And sometimes I tell her not to worry about it. I'll take care of it when I get home, just depending on the day. But there's been many times where she's had dinner ready for us when we got home. So it's like one less thing for me to do. Then I can concentrate a little more easier on homework or get back to work if I need to get back to work online. And then there's getting them ready for bed. And then at some point, myself also getting showered into bed.
Yeah.
If that even happens.
See,
So.
that's what I mean. Mothers, man. I honestly, that I don't know. Maybe it's my love for my mother, but like I always joke and everything. But there's a reason why, and at least in my eyes, like women are so important. Like that's a lot of stuff. I mean, we make the jokes of everything, like childbirth is the only time women know what it's like for a man to have a cold. But come on, like
no, there's no way a man could handle the pain of childbirth.
No, yeah, and
no way.
What is the one thing I always say? Like if like the closest thing to God is a woman, right? Because they create life, they carry it, and they give life. Like they say that God creates life. Well, guess what? Women create life too. They help. So So for me, yeah, I put women on a pedestal. I mean, they should be appreciated and worshipped, and especially mothers. Um, and I appreciate everything you do. So believe me, it's a
Well,
lot. Sometimes like I said, I always feel horrible, and I'm like, no, I can do stuff for myself. I don't need to be another kid for you to worry about and deal with. But I admit that lately it's been nice to get a little extra hour sleep and wake up to a breakfast and having help with packing my lunch and everything gives me a little bit more time with the baby or with you to talk.
and I try to let you know when I don't have time. Like this week, I volunteered, at the
So
schools
yeah.
twice, and I let you know it's like, hey, I'm going to be volunteering at the school, 2 days
On
this
top
week.
of everything that you just said, that usually
Yeah.
your
Well,
day
and then I got
has,
home to work, right?
yeah,
I was working at night for that reason, but I let you know, hey, I got to volunteer. Well, I don't have to, but I wanted to volunteer because the school year's almost over and I hadn't done any volunteer work. And I let you know, I will have your coffee ready if I can, but I really don't have time to do anything else. So I love you and bye. And you were like half asleep, like, okay, babe, no worries. Yeah, and that was it, And then I was gone. So busy.
yeah.
And I remember my mom, and so thinking about moms, I think about all the things she did for us. So I mean, she didn't do as many things. She was definitely a stay-at-home mom full time. At least when I was little. As I got older, she did go back to school to become a clinical hypnotherapist, and she did also own her own bookstore, and so she had, her and my dad were running a clinic, chiropractic and holistic health center clinic, and so they were busy as I was older. And in that, I think my little brothers got neglected. My younger two brothers probably got neglected in that. But I just remember we would always be with her on shopping trips. So we were always with her, So I just remember her sewing for us and always cooking for us and always trying to keep the house clean. And she took her role very seriously. And she was loving in her own way, but not like playful. So it's not like she got down on the ground and played with us like our dad did. And I guess I'm the same way, right? I don't get down on the ground with the kids to play with them. I play with them in my own way and I show them love in my own way, but it's just not in me to like get down to their level and be on the floor with them like it is yours.
Well, you said it. Maybe that's that thing. Moms do it there because I mean there is a lot on your plate.
Yeah.
You don't have time to throw yourself in the ground and
Well,
start
I
wrestling.
mean, but even when I do have time, like let's say before bedtime, I've been trying to be better about reading to them before bed and, just making sure that I'm getting them ready and not making, or asking my mom to help me get them ready. So, and I think maybe it's all part of the little mom guilt that I had from when the boys were little.
But that's more
I
like
didn't
the
do
girls,
that
right?
stuff.
The boys are old enough. They don't need that.
I know. But I think it stems maybe a little bit from my mom guilt from when I couldn't or I didn't do those things for the boys.
Yeah, but it was different. I mean,
Yeah,
you know
I
how
know.
many parents, like especially with their
Oh,
first
I
kids, are like
know.
that too.
I
Like,
know. But it doesn't help when you have someone constantly reminding you that you need to be doing more for your kids.
But that's your mom.
I
Like,
know.
like,
That's what I'm saying. Like, because she's with us and she lives with us. And
everybody
again,
can do-
I
but-
love her. I do.
But that's
I love
the thing,
her.
though. Like she's judging,
But
she
she
had
sees-
her mom and she had her mother-in-law to help out too if she needed it, and they're like
Well-
literally live next door.
Well, my grandma only lived next door for a couple years. But my other grandma, she lived in LA. So she never helped. Like her help was taking me for the summer. So my mom only had 3 kids to deal with.
Oh,
4.
wow, that's something.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, my grandmas were just babysitters as needed.
So,
They
your
weren't.
grandma's but
They
still.
weren't like in her business all the time, like because they weren't in the house.
Yeah, you know why? Because the other one was Mexican, and the Mexicans don't do that. Like
She had her own place. Yeah.
Like it's a
Well,
balance.
even my Peruvian grandma, she was very proud. She had her own home, and these were also mother figures.
Yeah, but she judged the shit out of your mom all the time.
I'm pretty sure she
yeah,
did.
so and your mom does it to you. It's a cycle. She's doing
It's a
this.
vicious cycle.
It's a cycle. She's doing it. Her mom did it to her. She's doing it to you.
I know so many women who just have horrible relationships with their moms.
You're doing a great job. You're fucking hitting it out the park. Don't worry about it. It's 4 kids, and it's like not 4 normal kids. They're like, You have four different characters, the little minions, and what do you call them? My spawns.
My minions. I've been calling them minions. My
Demon spawns or something
my
like
demon
that.
spawns. My thing 1 and my thing 2.
Yeah, those two, man, those two are all different world right there. There's the reason why we call them thing 1 and thing 2.
Yeah.
So yeah, you know, I say this a lot at work, but you know, opinions are like assholes.
Everyone has one.
Yeah, exactly. So
But
don't let.
no. I'm not trying to talk about this like to get me like saying that it's getting me down or anything. It's just to kind of talk about like as a mother.
Yeah,
like,
but
what my experience is as a mother.
I mean, seriously, like, okay, so what about
and
me?
some of the stressors.
even my dad was like, "Oh, you're straight," or "Oh, you're too hard," or "Oh, you could have handled that different." And I'm like, no. Like, you were worse than that with me. And I was like, you don't judge me.
Yeah.
Or the people, like family, when they try to judge me, like, hey, you don't talk to the girls like that, or not like, well, don't be like that with them. Whoa. You worry about your kid, I worry about my kid, okay? You don't tell you how to raise your kid, you don't tell me how to raise my kid.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
I get, but again, you have a mom, I don't. So maybe that's why you're like, oh, just bite my tongue and not say nothing.
And I definitely think that has a big factor because sometimes you get frustrated or you get mad about conversations I have with my mom, and it'll just boil over for us, and it seems to bother you more than it really did me. Because in the end, I'll be fine, and in the end, she'll be fine, and we might not talk to each other for a little bit, but we'll be fine.
Yeah, but see, if that's your guys' argument, or like, why the fuck do I have to pay for it?
Well,
I get the silent treatment. I get the shitty treatment from you or her, mainly her. And I'm like, yo, I didn't get in a fight with you. Like, you need to change your tone.
Guilty by association.
Yeah, you need to remember whose house this is.
Guilty by association. But I mean, but again, it bothers you more. Like, you'll get mad about it.
Well, yeah, you're my wife.
And I get over it. Like, I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah, but somebody hurt you. Somebody upset you.
Yeah, but it's my mom.
It doesn't matter.
But it's my mom.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Even our sons upset you. How do I get with them?
But they're my boys.
Yeah, well, that's fine. They're my boys too, but you're my wife.
Yeah. See, but that's the difference. Like, maybe it's just our personalities.
Yeah.
Like, I will let it roll off of me like oil or water, whatever, however the saying goes.
Duck feathers, water. Yeah.
I'll let it roll off of me. You know, I might be mad in the moment or frustrated in the moment, but I'll get over it pretty quickly. Whereas you fester.
Shit. You know why? Because you do that with everybody else, but me. You'll be fucking holding on to grudges for me. Oh, so because I'm the husband, because there's no blood relation, you can hold that grudge against me. Ah, okay. I see how that works then.
Well, I mean, you said. Anyways, that's it. I mean, we're talking about mothers.
See the difference between
Mother's
husband
Day.
and wife. I'm a loyal dog, and I'm just a husband. You hold on grudges with me.
No, not really. If I held that many,
Oh, shut up.
if I held that many grudges, I think we would be divorced by now, and I'd be rearing these kids on my own. No, or would you claim custody?
I plead the fifth. That's been my answer a lot this week.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Well, what else about moms? What else do you want to say?
Moms
about
rock. Moms are awesome. I'm just saying.
What about grandmas,
Same shit. They're a
aunties,
mom.
all the different.
Do they have kids?
If they have kids,
Okay. If they don't have kids,
then no.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, there's something about being a mom that changes people, right? I mean,
Yeah.
just-
Oh, yeah, for sure. I think that goes back to one of the episodes we talked about, you know, how having children changes you. But
No.
and not every woman changes
No.
with motherhood.
No.
Or they regret the children.
Yeah, because I've seen some of those Netflix documentaries and stuff like that, or news or podcasts that you showed me, and some mothers out there, man, I just can't believe there's people like that.
That they're mothers.
That would do that to their own children, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a sad thing, but but there is a lot of good, loving mothers, you know, and there's a lot good, loving stepmothers out there too, who deserve the credit the mothers, because they've been better mothers than the real mothers, or because there was no mothers and they're raising a child, but they're still theirs. So they're, So yeah, I'm just saying. Look, what I was trying to say is, if you have your mom, appreciate her, love her, hold her, kiss her, tell her you love her, because obviously there's a lot of us out there that don't have that chance to do that and we can never do it again. And some of us have never had the chance to do it, and some of them had them for a few, and some had them for a long time, and they got used to it and took it for granted, and now they just didn't have to remember what it was like. So, they did everything for us when we were kids. They were there to take care of us and nurture us and love us and take care of our boo-boos and our heartbreaks and everything, our failures, our triumphs. And then, our success is their success. So, let them know that you appreciate everything that they did for you. Like drive you to school every day, or drive you to class, or dates, or the mall, or sacrificing their career to raise you, or, being late to work to take you to school, or whatever, taking time off from their husbands to go participate at school to be a volunteer. Yeah, whatever, man. Moms are awesome. I just think moms are awesome, and all of them that have
all
them.
Mother figures.
Yeah, all the people that.
Because there's some dads who are moms, right? They
No. That's a dad.
A dad's a dad,
I don't like that shit about like, oh, mothers are dads. So like, no, you're a mother.
I mean like okay, so like there's dads where like the mom passes away or they get a divorce and the mom gives up custody, you know, and if the dad
rarely
decides,
ever happens.
It is rare, but it's more. It seems to be more common these days, right? I mean, we've seen it, but it's kind of like what, and if the dad chooses to not remarry,
Okay, yeah.
So now he's filling that paternal role, and he's also at some point got to learn to be emotionally available for his kids the way a mother would be. Some men can do it, some men can't. Like if I wasn't around, what would happen with the kids? How would you be with the kids? Be, you'd be all like colonel now, running a tight ship.
Yeah.
Like no more love and attention.
There's always going to be love and attention.
But it'd be a way tighter ship. You've told me that before.
Yeah, when there's a schedule and there's things that need to be done, most definitely. And that would suck for the oldest one because he's going to have to step up to the plate, both boys. Because they're in my eyes, they're men, so they need to step up. They need to start taking more responsibility and help out.
Yeah.
I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Would I remarry? I'd like to say no. Hell no. Most definitely.
You want to be free.
Yeah. And are you really free? I mean, I had to raise 4 kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Ain't no time for none of that. As it is, I mean, what do? I'm an introvert. I like to be at home with my kids. I like to spend time with them, with you and the kids. I don't care about going out and partying and hanging out or, like I watch football, make you guys suffer, watch it with me. The Super Bowl time is like, why am I going to be driving around when you guys can sit here and watch it with me and hear me scream and shout and have fun, or a fight or a movie or whatever? I'd rather spend it with you guys.
What about the grandparents who have to be parents again because their grandkids lose their parents for XYZ reason?
Well, that's a hard one, but it's still beautiful because you lose your child, but your child lives through their grandkids.
Yeah, that's
so true. You still have your kid there. A part of your kid still lives on.
Yeah.
Part of you and your kid.
And it gives you a second chance.
Yeah.
To maybe do it different.
And you get to teach them about how their parents were. So, yeah, your mom or your dad's not here anymore, but this is how they were.
Or you remind me of them.
Yeah, because of this. They also love this. So that's beautiful. Instead of a kid that just ends up being in a shelter, orphanage or whatever, not knowing anything, always wondering about their parents. Believe me, from experience, I kind of know that. I can't ask anyone of, what was my favorite thing when I was a kid, with my favorite cartoon, my favorite breakfast. I feel like crap every time my kids ask me stuff like that because I don't have that info. I don't remember it.
Yeah.
You know?
There was nobody to remind you.
Yeah. There's those little things I remember. You know, and the little things. Have you noticed that a lot of the things that I do with the kids is something that I live either with my mom or my dad, but mainly my mom?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're always talking about movies that you saw with your mom or toys that your mom bought you. Those
I
are
appreciate, man. We were poor shit. We were poor. Like we were poor. She was not allowance. My dad would stop by and give her some money, and she will make it happen out of that, and whenever she can get me something, man, to now as a grown up, and I realize it and I see it through the eyes of a grown up, man. I cherish and I appreciate all that stuff. So my mom will always be very special for me for everything that she did for me, everything she sacrificed, everything. Yeah, everything, man. So yeah, I appreciate that, and they're great memories, and I try to do them for kids. Even some of the cooking. And most people tell me my mom was a horrible cook.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
But for me, I remember some of the stuff that I loved and I enjoy, and I try to give it to the kids. But like when I have heard stories about my mom and they talk about her and they mention stuff about her, I realize that I am her son. Like how they talk about her, I was like, they're describing me.
Yeah, you've told me that before.
And I was like, the attitude, the straight to the point, the no BS, the if I hurt your feelings, oh well, like you need to hear the truth,
yeah.
But then when I need to be sensitive and understanding, I'll do it. I'll do that also. So in a lot of ways, I was like, man, I get it from my mom. I might look like my dad, but I think I'm my mom in every way.
Yeah.
Maybe even the competitiveness.
Maybe.
I got it from her.
Maybe. Yeah, you've told me about that. I'm looking up verses that, like in the Bible or the Quran or the Torah or something like that, that refer to how you should love your mother. And there's a lot. So I'm just trying to find, like, one to, say. And I found, so here's a Bible verse. It's from Ezekiel 19:2.
She kisses my boo-boos.
It says... What a lioness among lionesses was your mother. She bedded down among the strong young lions and reared her cubs. And that's a verse from Ezekiel talking about the strength of a mom, right? And then I found a verse. I'm just going to do one because I didn't really find anything relating to the Torah. I haven't really researched for very long because I'm doing the spur of the moment. But then I found another verse, and I guess this is from myislam.org. And allegedly this is from the Quran, and it's verse, I think, or Dua 17, I think. It says, "It is your mother's right towards you that you should remember that she carried you in her womb for several months and nourished you with the sap of her life. She employed all her essence to keep and protect you. She did not care if she herself went hungry while you were fed satiety, I can't say this word, or to go thirsty herself while your thirst was quenched, or to have no clothes while you were well covered, or to stay in the hot sun while you were sheltered. She ignored her sweet sleep and tolerated the pain of sleeplessness for your sake." And it goes on. It's a pretty long verse. For those seeking something religious, these are, in the scriptures, whatever your faith is, I'm sure they all talk about the importance of mothers and the respect people should have for their mothers, because if it wasn't for your mom, you wouldn't be here. I mean, I know it takes two to tango, but ultimately moms are the ones who instill your sense of being. Some moms are great at it, and some moms, just wasn't their role.
So you were saying about mother quotes like that, and for me, there's always a quote.
Okay.
It's funny from the movie that it comes from. I was quoting the kid's favorite one from the Despicable Me, right?
Oh yes.
But for me, my quote actually comes from William Makepeace Thackeray, and it was made famous in a movie from a comic book that was "Mother is the name for God in the lips and hearts of all children." So to me, that's one of my favorite quotes. I wish I would have actually planned this out. There was a Pablo Neruda poem where he talks about his mother too that I liked. Wish I can remember what it was called. It was like just it's just a hint of it. So confession. I love Pablo Neruda. So I read his stuff since I was like in 6th grade, I think. Mm-hmm. That's when I discovered Pablo Neruda. So most of my junior high years was like reading and dissecting Pablo Neruda. A lot of poetry, actually.
You were into a lot of poetry
at that time. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we find ourselves with somebody keeps on popping up their heads, and they obviously took a power nap, and now we're gonna invite them in to join us. So we had earlier the baby.
Yeah, our 4-year-old is still on my lap, but she's wide awake now.
Yeah, and now we have our 10-year-old joining us. Say hello to everyone.
Hello.
There you go. He's actually been wanting to record, especially since our oldest was in town and she recorded. He's like, oh, well, when is it my turn? So we were going to go in order, but I guess we'll go off script here and have him jump in.
Since he hasn't gone to sleep or he's awake again.
Yeah, he's awake again.
And it's way past his bedtime.
So tell us, buddy. We're talking about Mother's Day, right? So tell me.
And mothers in general.
What do you enjoy celebrating Mother's Day? Is it a special day?
And be honest.
Yeah, I guess in a way you could say that.
Yeah. Why do you like celebrating Mother's Day?
Because I just like getting stuff and giving it to people.
But this is not people. This is your mother.
Yeah, well, everybody's people.
Do you have anything special lined up for your mom? Are you gonna wake up and start cleaning and continue cleaning for her because she cleans for you all the time?
Maybe.
I don't know. Maybe some breakfast.
It's a surprise.
He might actually sleep in this time because he's going to bed so late.
So that probably is another gift right there because he's not gonna wake you up early.
Well, he's our early riser, so he's usually up like at 6 a.m, 7 a.m on the weekends, 5 on the weekends. During the week, forget about it, but on the weekends, he's up super early.
Yeah, and so you're also kind of school year's coming to an end, right?
Yeah, I only have like 2 more weeks.
Nice. You looking forward to the summer?
Yeah.
You get a little taste today. Nice hot day. Yeah.
Well, what do you not like about Mother's Day?
I don't really know.
All the chores.
Not exactly the chores, but I don't really know.
Oh, so he likes it. Do you love your mom a lot?
Yes.
Why?
Because you're my mom.
Because I'm your mom?
Yeah. You should love your mom. That's right. That's a big reason right there. She's your mom. What about you, Muchka?
Do you love mommy?
Yeah.
She's just nodding her head. You want to say yes?
Yes.
Is she a comfortable bed right there?
Mommy's a good pillow.
Yeah, good pillow.
I'm not that fluffy.
What was that, a knock-knock joke? You're hitting the microphone? No, you're horrible at knock-knock jokes, bro. Don't even try.
He's getting better. He's getting better. The 6-year-old is starting to...
You know what? For podcast purposes, I'm going to call you Fozzie Bear. Because your jokes are so bad, you need to say waka 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 at the end.
But he's more like Gonzo.
Yeah, Gonzo. The new Muppet Babies, him and his potato.
But he always says potato.
Potato. See,
yes.
Even the baby says
our
that.
10-year-old is always saying, "Where's my potato?"
Potato is what he calls our cat, by the way.
Yeah. That's his potato.
That's his potato. Gonzo, the cartoon, actually has a potato.
What do you appreciate or not appreciate that mom does or says?
When she tells us to go to bed.
So you appreciate that or you don't appreciate that?
I don't appreciate that.
What do you appreciate?
When you tell us you love us.
Okay. And you're my baby that loves hugs and kisses, huh? Oh no. I'll remember that the next time you ask
He's
for one.
He's always asking for them.
He's always asking. He's also my opposite kid. So he'll tell me he hates me, but then he's like, Mom, that means I love you.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a
like,
weirdo.
He'll be like, Mom, this tastes disgusting, as he's stuffing it in his face. And he's like, Mom, that means I love it.
I mean, he is a weirdo. Because, I mean, he's literally wearing a Santa Claus t-shirt in May.
It's a good pajama shirt, right?
What does it say? Oh, he knows. I think that's going to look like me in a few more years, huh? That beard and that all white beard.
Are you good? You're satisfied with your recording now?
He's being so shy.
I think it's because he's hearing himself on the headphones. It's kind of weird. Is it weird? Yeah.
Yeah.
You can use your words. Yes, it's weird. So people can hear you.
You can go to the dentist.
What? That has nothing to do with what we're talking about, young lady.
For what?
She's just speaking. She's being silly. What makes you happy that I do, and what makes you sad that I do?
I'm sad when...
Speak up.
Sad when you and Daddy watch TV when what happened.
You're sad when we watch TV while you guys are in bed.
Why is that? Because we're watching stuff without you?
Scary.
We're watching scary stuff.
Yeah, usually that's when
That's when we watch scary stuff, is when they're in bed.
Yeah, when you guys go to bed.
That's the only time we can watch scary stuff. What do you like that Mommy does?
I know. Smoochy kiss.
You like smoochy kisses? Yeah, smoochy kisses, huh? Smoochy kisses are when we put her between Dad and I, and we kiss her both on the cheek at the same time.
She gets sandwich right there. Boom.
They've all loved that.
Yeah, we did that.
Yes, even you, Mr. 10-year-old over there shaking your head. You loved it when you were little.
He still likes it now. He still gets him every once in a while. He gets so happy. Yeah.
All right. Well, we tried to get some conversation out of these kids. I guess they're not quite ready for full conversation, but it's better than nothing. Now you know what you sound like. All right. Say goodnight.
Night, night.
Good evening. Have a happy Mother's Day.
Awesome.
There you go.
Happy Mother's Day.
So yeah.
Yeah.
So,
So I mean, that's I guess the gist of it. I mean,
yeah, Mother's Day, it's a good day. I mean, it sucks. Obviously, you can't go out to eat because everybody's taking out their moms to eat.
I know. So we went out for breakfast today. And again, I guess you guys are all going to hear this after Mother's Day. So
yeah, we hope you had a good one.
We hope you guys had a great Mother's Day. For those of you who have your mothers around or have a mother to celebrate, a mother figure to celebrate. And
I feel bad right now that you're saying. I was thinking about, and I make this joke a lot. We're talking about people that don't appreciate their moms, and one day they're not going to have them. I feel bad for those guys that their mom does everything for them.
Oh, yeah.
And then once they're gone, they're going to be like...
They're completely useless. And then they need to find a wife who can do everything for them.
Yeah. Will you be my mom?
Who, according to my brothers, don't exist anymore.
Yeah. The May 10th, I was, when I was driving home, it was like the home stretch. And yeah, I was thinking about my mom, I was just thinking about, like, I started hearing songs and I heard this one song and I can't believe I never actually put attention to the lyrics. And it made me think about you and the boys. Even though you're not old yet, but like one day you will be. And it reminded me of our second boy, pretty much saying it to you. It's a song by Ricardo Arjona. And the name of the song is called Mi novia se me está haciendo vieja.
Okay.
And so he's pretty much talking about his girlfriend.
Mm-hmm. Right? He says, my girlfriend's getting old.
Yeah. And he's going on and on about it. But at the end, he's saying, in case you haven't figured it out, I'm talking about my mother. So his
first love is his mom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. His girlfriend. So, and that's what it ends up being for
all boys, all boys. I think. Well, yeah. Okay. Most boys, their first love is their mom.
Yeah.
Right. Even for you, your first love is your mom.
Nobody's ever gonna love you like your mom.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's like the idea.
The purest, truest, most unconditional love ever. It's like, remember what we said,
Yeah.
a mother's true love is also their firstborn boy.
Yep.
But yeah, so I heard that song and it
Okay.
made me think about the boys. And,
It's
but
interesting
mainly
how music in general takes you back, because like I'll even hear music in the car, especially anything by Julio Iglesias, and I can
Julio Iglesias
Is it
and
Julio
Willie
Iglesias?
Nelson.
Yes, that one. That one, the Julio
I kinda knew
Iglesias.
you were gonna go there.
My mom used to listen to that song all the time in the car. So anytime I hear it, we had a Oldsmobile station wagon.
Oh, really? No, I'm surprised. That's my mom's song.
Is it? And my mom, it was like the Oldsmobile came with a tape. Like this was back when we had tape tracks in the cars, and I remember she had a tape, and it was a road trip tape, and that was one of the songs on it. But basically any song that was on that tape, and I don't remember all the names right now, but anytime I hear them on the radio or on a playlist, I'll be like, oh my God, I just think about my mom. And it makes me teary-eyed. And I still have my mom, it's not like she's passed away yet, but I hear those songs and it just takes me back to being a little girl and riding in the car with her in the back seat of that Oldsmobile and just listening to her music, and I think for all my life.
No, for me too. So my mother loved the Julio Iglesias. Period. My mother had two dream men in her life.
Okay. Oh, I think
Julio Iglesias and Tom Selleck.
Yeah.
And those were the to her. Those were her dream guys. She used to tell me Tom Selleck was my dad.
My mom's is oh my God.
Yul Brynner and
Yul Brynner, Humperdinck. What's his name?
Oh.
I can't remember
singer,
anything.
right?
Yeah, Egelberg Humperdinck or something like that.
yeah.
Whatever his name is. So that guy and Yul Brynner.
Yeah, Yul Brynner.
And Patrick Stewart. Those
that
are
was
my
later.
mom's.
Yeah.
Yeah. But those are my mom's guys.
So my mom, she did listen to country also, and Mexican and English, and she loved Willie Nelson. So when Willie Nelson and Julio Iglesias had that song, she used to sing that, and she used to tell me, "This is gonna be your song when you grow up for all the girls, okay?"
For all the girls I've loved. That's the song.
So that's the song. So whenever you hear me listening to it, or
You're thinking of your mom.
I'm thinking of my mom.
Yeah.
Or all the girls I love.
Oh yes, all the girls you loved before. But yeah, that song always reminds me of my mom.
Mother's one of them, right? So
yeah,
that's the same thing.
That's true. That's true.
And then my girl. So yeah.
Yeah. That's funny. But yeah, music. Music will always that connection. If you've got nothing else.
And it's just you get sad. You get a little sad, and I'm like, well, I have my wife, and she's the mother of my kids, so that's why. Like I told you, I like to spoil you. I like to show you a little bit of love.
All I need is the house cleaned and a back scratch.
Yeah, you're
and I'm
weird.
happy.
Most guys always have the issue of like, what do you get a mother? Like, what do you get her for Mother's Day? Like a spa day, a trip, jewelry. Whatever. You're like, I'll take a clean house. I'll take some
back scratches.
I'll take some.
I asked for French toast.
I forgot about that. I was gonna say I take some appliances at the house. Like like back then, there's all these jokes and comedians about never get your wife appliances for birthdays.
I love appliances. I love appliances. So I've gotten carpet washers and vacuums and blenders. I've gotten lots of appliances over the years because that's all I wanted. Like, that's just what I want. I want things that I can actually use, like on a daily, to help me continue to be a mother.
Yeah.
It's kind of nice to just sit on the sofa and veg today. And thank you guys for cleaning. So then tomorrow, Sunday, Mother's Day, we can just kind of relax because everything's most of it's been done. I don't think we have any plans, right? We're just going to be home.
I actually wanted to have like a big old thing for Mother's Day, like invite your brothers and do a thing for you and your mom. But schedule wise, I was so busy, I never got to make the phone calls, go buy the stuff that I needed. I kept on asking you what you wanted me to cook, but you never gave me anything. So. Except for you asked for French toast, and that's the one thing
you don't know how to make.
I don't know how to make. and I don't know how to make pancakes. I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure somebody's like, "What? Those are the simplest things to do," and that is the reason why I didn't care to learn how to make them.
He didn't like them either. Right? You're
no.
not a fan of French toast.
No, not a big fan of French toast. I'm really picky. The few times in my life I had French toast.
So we went to breakfast today, Saturday, and I got my French toast.
Yeah.
And I told you, don't worry, babe. I got my French toast. You don't have to make it now.
Yeah,
You're
and
all
I got fired before I even got started cooking it. So I guess she wanted to spend Mother's Day not making excuses of it. Oh yeah, sure, it's good, and it's like horrible, you know.
Oh, I would have been fine. Like
I'm pretty sure it would have been because I'm cooking it, you know.
oh yeah, everything you make is delicious. So, I know lots of moms who are going. Well, not a lot, but I know a few moms who are actually like going camping for Mother's Day. I was surprised to learn that from a couple of the moms I know, and I was like, oh, that's cool. I wouldn't have mind going camping, I guess. But they're going camping in trailers.
Yeah, but you don't, because I remember there was a year for your birthday, and we
went camping for my birthday.
Yeah, and I think we did 2 years in a row, and I think I was thinking about doing it for the third year because I like they were nice. It was a good time.
Yeah,
and you ripped me a new one. You're like, no, I don't want to go camping for my birthday.
Well, yeah, I think in those years we were camping because you guys were combining my birthday with our 10-year-old's birthday because our birthdays are like 3 days apart. So we were camping for both of us.
Yeah.
And I hate having our birthdays combined. Like, it's not for me, but for him. Like, I want his day to be his day. Like you're saying, for you, May 10th is your mom's day, right?
Right.
So for me, our son's birthday is his day.
For me,
so
I don't have birthdays anymore either.
When people combine them.
Because of our daughter.
Well, yeah, see, because you don't want to combine them, right?
No, because,
and our daughter, our 6-year-old.
Let's say mine's during the week and she's on the weekend, so that mine passed, so it's all about her, right? And they're babies, right? So
you could do your party the weekend before. It's not a big deal.
No, because that's usually Father's Day weekend.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess so. It doesn't matter. Wow. So then we've
been married how long? You're like,
is it? I mean, not always. Sometimes. But I mean, we've gone camping.
And for me, it sucks too because Father's Day usually somehow, some weird way, ends up being on my dad's birthday.
Yeah.
So then that's why my birthday never got celebrated.
Because it was your dad's birthday and Father's Day.
And my brothers. Yeah, they were the same day.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I was supposed to throw you a big party this year.
It was supposed to be last year.
No, you'll be 45 this year.
I wanted it for 44.
Oh, well, it didn't happen.
Nah, it's all right. Besides, no one's going to show up. I don't have any friends.
Doesn't mean I can't invite people. Just be like, whoever wants to show up. But we have a lot of birthdays to celebrate this year.
Yeah.
We owe our 10-year-old a birthday party. And then I wanted to give you a birthday party, but you said no. And then our 14-year-old turns 15. And he's already told me he doesn't want a party because he wants us to save money for his senior trip. And then...
Quinceañera.
And then I told him, you want a sweet 16 instead, like your friends? He's like, no. I was like, okay. And then our 4-year-old turns 5 because we do birthdays every 5 years, like big parties. We do parties every 5 years. And so we have at least 3 parties we were supposed to do, but only one of them has told me not to do it. 4 parties with yours, but.
I want a birthday party. Give me one.
You want a birthday party?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
Just us 6.
Well, that's not a birthday party. I mean, like the one I threw you when you turned 30. And
I think there was a total of 12 people.
No, you were so drunk. That's a topic. That's a story for another time. That was a big party.
I blame that
You've
whiskey.
never been drunk that badly.
I blame that whiskey.
That was good whiskey.
Delicious.
Not that I had any because I was pregnant. But
that was my whole bottle. I killed it all by myself.
You guys, yeah. That was interesting. We'll talk about that another time. But mothers. Oh, yeah. My mom made you cocoa for your birthday that year. Grandma. Was it my grandma?
That was your grandma.
Well, one of the mother figures in my side of the family made you cocoa.
Freaking delicious.
For those out there who don't know what cocoa is,
Google it.
sound, yeah, Google it. Yeah. It'll be really disgusting if I tell you. You'll be like, ew, but it's so good. Cow, CAU.
Yeah, it's
so good.
It's so good. Yeah.
But yeah, so being a mom, I was happy to become a mom.
Yeah, you were.
I was happy to become one because the doctors had told me I couldn't be a mom.
Yeah.
And I was happy to be a stepmom too, but that was really hard. So I was much happier to become a...
Yeah, you had your moments when you were like, they don't love me. And I'm to them at moments I'm an evil stepmom.
And I guess that's the difference, right? Is that like you had stepmoms who had kids, who had their own kids already. Whereas I became a stepmom and I didn't have my own kids.
Yeah, and I used to tell them, I was like, no, I know what an evil stepmom is. Trust me.
You used to tell them. Yeah, their mom basically convinced them that I was an evil stepmom at some point. But yeah,
but it was different, you know. Like always, like our place is always, you know, rules, strict discipline.
Yeah. We've covered that before, but like you said, that you've told them, no, you know.
Yeah, even on this day, those women that were mom for a little bit, you know, or tried to be a mom. I still remember them.
Yeah.
I used to call them all, just to see them, you know, but they're also gone, and I still think about them.
Yeah.
So
you have interesting loyalty to the mother figures in your life.
it's to a certain point, you know. I appreciate what they did.
Yeah, you always tell me because they didn't have to.
Well,
They didn't have to take
especially
you.
my dad's
They didn't
wife.
have to take you in.
Yeah.
Well, even the other stepmom, she didn't have to. Neither one of them had to. She didn't have to, no matter how many faces you make.
I'm a bargaining chip.
You're a
That's how I
bargaining
am.
chip. You're a bargaining chip for all of them.
Yeah.
So we had very different mothering experiences, for sure.
Yeah, you had one, I know.
Yeah. Well, but what do you say? Like, even if you had one, well, something happened, and you were like, "I'm so glad I don't have my mom." Something happened. I don't remember what it was.
I make that joke sometimes, and I see people's like face get really shocked. Yeah, I remember I even pissed off my dad one time by saying that because I was making fun of the boys for being mama's boys, right? Because they were little. And then he's like, oh, "You should talk. You're a big mama's boy, and now you're a Mr. Hard ass or whatever." And I was like, "Yeah, well then, good thing she died, huh? Because if not, it would have been a
that's
big old
what
pussy."
it was. That's what it was.
Yeah,
Yeah, because he was making fun of you being too soft,
yeah,
a soft little boy,
mm-hmm.
and that you're saying, well, it took my mom dying to harden me,
yeah.
right? Because then it was his tough love that raised you, and tough stepmom love.
Yeah, and then he was all shocked and
mad at you.
yeah, I can't believe you said that. I was like, well, you can be mad all you want. The reality is that.
That's the truth.
Yeah.
It's the reality. It's
Like,
true.
Either you learn to accept it, or just be butthurt about it.
Yeah. It is hard to hear. I mean, it is harsh to hear, but it is truth. It is truth. Who knows how you would have been? I always tell the boys, like our kids, I'm like, oh, do you know if grandma had lived, would you and dad still have gotten married? I was like, no way. If your dad's mom had been alive, there's no way your dad and I would have, if we met, it would have been just like in passing, but there's no way we would have gotten married. I'm sure your dad would have gotten some like 14-year-old pregnant because, that's the right.
At 14, not now, and she's 14.
Yeah.
Right, like,
they would have had kids like super young. He'd probably have more than one, like with different chicks. No, like with like very.
Oh man, you speak so highly of me.
No, I speak so highly of the people I met where your mom's side of the family were from. Some of your cousins.
Well, some of your cousins too.
The boys.
Shit, we're gonna start calling people out.
The boys. You know what I'm talking about.
You know what I'm talking about.
Some of those boys that your cousins that I met that time we went, I was like in shock. Like, there's no way we would have ever gotten married.
I come from a long line of pimps.
Of pimps, and yeah.
I mean,
they think.
I mean, come on.
Horrible. That's all I have to say. In the end, we would not have been together.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, that's still macho culture.
And if we were, your mom would have hated me.
Oh no. I mean, does any mother-in-law ever really like the
Your
girl
sister
that
liked me
their
at first. I don't know that she likes me anymore, but
Suegros never like the daughters. Their what daughter-in-law?
daughters just like you'll never. No one will ever be good enough for your girls. Same
Damn
thing.
right. Slideshows like that.
You even give me crap about like little girls that the boys like. You're like, oh yeah, she's cute. Oh yeah, she's hot. Oh yeah, you got her number, and I'm like, nope. It's like you don't need any distractions. No distractions.
It's again the mom son.
Stick to your education. I always tell them they just need to find an intelligent young lady who also knows how to cook. Because our boys like to eat.
They have a better chance of finding a unicorn.
I know, these days especially. Isn't that what my brothers are waiting for? When you're out there looking for someone who reminds you of your mom in this day and age, like you want someone who can clean and cook the way your mom does.
They have those, just mail order though.
And the reality is that no American woman really works that way, which is why he's saying, why he's saying mail order. It's horrible.
No, yeah, there are. I saw that thing on Netflix. Just go to become Mormon and go to.
Oh, the fundamentalist group and become a cult member. That's the cult. That's a cult. That's not all Mormons. That's a cult right there. And there's lots of cults.
It's all fun and games. But yeah, so I hope you all had a great Mother's Day. I hope you appreciate your old ladies and you give them love and affection.
Your old ladies?
Your mothers. Your viejitas.
Your old ladies.
Your old ladies. Your wives, the mothers, your children. Except your baby mamas. We all know their drama.
Are they all drama?
All baby mamas? There's a reason why they're baby mamas.
And not wives.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry. Be real.
Well, yeah, you've been through it, so you know. All right, well,
I don't know what you meant by it, but I'm just like, yeah.
Again, we hope you guys all had a wonderful Mother's Day, and you'll hear from us next week.
Yeah, man.
All right.
All right.
Have a good night. Bye.
Peace.